Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. It is 6:08 Tuesday, August 9th, 66 degrees. Get up to 84 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. And now we're joined by a guest who's going to take me probably 10 minutes to read all the things he's working on. So here we go. Cliff Baker. Well, what we're here to talk about today is if there is a need, we will feed. But he's also a president, the president, not a president, the president of the Baker League. He's a restaurant consultant at Singer Equipment Company, and all around great guy. Good morning, Cliff. How are you?
Good morning, Jeremy. Very good, thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you for having me in today.
Good to have you. I mean, are you usually an early riser?
Yes, sir.
You get up usually around 4:30, right?
Yes, sir. All my life.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
4:30, quarter to 5. And
So-
what's sad now is I don't even need an alarm.
Really?
Yeah.
What time do you go to sleep?
About 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yeah. All right. So, all right. You're okay with that. That's been your life, right?
That's been my life.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you hang out with Chef Mike? Because that guy wakes up around 10 o'clock at night. Well, we'll get to that in a second. All right. So tell us a little bit about if there is a need, we will feed. What is that all about?
That's an organization I started after Hurricane Sandy. Right after the storm hit, I was at Boston's bar in Toms River off of Fisher there.
Yeah.
And 2 new military people walked in. I could tell they were out of place, didn't know where they were. I started having a little conversation with them, and it was getting close to Thanksgiving. I asked them, I said, hey, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Where are you going to be? And they said they had no place to go. So once they said that, I realized that, there's an opportunity here. Because when I was in the Navy, I remember being in France and walking the streets, not knowing where to go.
Right.
And this nice couple opened their door to us, and there was 4 of us, invited us into their home, gave us a nice warm meal. And I said, here's my opportunity to give back. Give back to someone who helped me 20 years ago when I was in the service.
Right.
Now is my opportunity to give them back. So we organized an event to feed all the first responders, military, and police that were here helping us rebuild the Jersey Shore. And that's when I partnered up with Chef Mike.
Very cool. So first of all, the joke that sprung right to mind was you could tell they were lost because they were at Boston's.
Yes.
Right? Why were you at Boston's? That's the other question, but that's all right.
They were a customer.
Yes, I was going to say Boston's now closed, and
Right.
and by all accounts, rightfully so. Moving right along. So you wanted to do something. So you wanted to start serving meals to first responders, et cetera. So how do you go about doing it? What does that look like?
Well, because my background experience with restaurant consulting, I knew if anything I could do, I could put together a meal.
Right.
Because of my contacts, and then Chef Mike, who I've known forever, he was in between 709 and going back to Atlantic Bar and Grill, so he had an opportunity to help me as well. And once I brought this to his attention, like Mike always does, he's all in.
Right.
He's all in. So within we had 3 or 4 weeks that we had to put together this event. So at my house is where we were organizing the meal. We set up my garage to have a big buffet. We had a tent rental come. They put up tables and chairs in our backyard. We were all ready to go for Thanksgiving. We had about 50 volunteers in the house. Once they found out Chef Mike was helping, everybody wants to help.
Right.
So we had everybody at the house. We had all the meal prepped. We had about 60 turkeys donated to us. We had them all carved up, ready to go. Then we found out the first responders weren't allowed to leave the island. They had to stay on the other side of the bridge. So we're like, what do we do now?
Right.
Luckily, one of our volunteers worked for the fire department right here.
Right.
He was able to go to his firehouse, bring a fire truck to my house, bring this big fire truck in our cul-de-sac. We had some packaging. We packaged up all these hot meals onto the fire truck. The fire truck was allowed to go over the bridge.
Right.
Fire truck goes over the bridge. We find all these pockets of first responders and military who were stuck over there. When we brought them a nice hot meal for Thanksgiving, blew them away.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great moment.
And so you've been doing that now. How many times have you done that subsequent?
So since then, Hurricane Sandy, we've done it every Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, surrounding towns started to hear what we did. So we did 375 at Thanksgiving. That first Christmas, we did 650. And from there, the word just spread. So we've been doing it since Hurricane Sandy. And then since the word was spreading, more organizations started reaching out to us. Hey, who are you feeding? We have some families that need help, veterans, seniors, other homeless.
Right.
So we've been doing it since. We're up to about 750 people we feed now. So we were doing it Thanksgiving and Christmas, but we also want to let them know that we're thinking about them all year. So this year we added Easter. Did a nice hot meal for Easter, and we wanted to do one more meal, so now we're doing the summer barbecue this Thursday, 2 days from now.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when we also have Mark Cure from Cure Catering.
Okay.
He's always been a big help for us. He has big mobile grills. So we're setting up a station at the St. Barbara Church in their parking lot that Mark Cure is going to prepare all these burgers and hot dogs were donated by Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop supermarket right here on 37 stepped up big time and gave us a big donation. So we're going to prepare these meals. We have a lot of organizations who are going to pick up the meals, or we have a list of volunteers who will make deliveries for us.
Wow. So when did you mentioned that moment in France, right? Is that when you decided that you wanted to, is that when you were impacted and you said, I really want to start giving back in some way? Because you've been a guy that kind of always seems to want to pitch in and give back in some way, whether it's basketball, whether it's meals, or whatever it may be. I mean, where does that come from, do you think?
I think France was more of a flashback.
Right.
I didn't realize really what I wanted to do. And then when I saw those two guys, I'm not going to say where I was, but when I saw those two guys again and saw how out of place they felt, I remember having that same feeling when I was in France.
Right.
So here I can make these guys feel comfortable, make them feel at home, make them feel welcomed, and thank them for their service.
Right, but you had already so you have a basketball league.
Yes.
Which actually raises money for charity.
Yes, I use that as a fundraiser.
Okay, so that was done before that, right?
Yes.
That wasn't so this was already something that was kind of in your psyche and ingrained in you. Do you know where did that come from? Where when you were a kid, was your family big on giving back to community? No. That's a no. That's no.
Everyone always asks, Cliff, where do you get this motivation? Where do you get this drive? Honestly, there's a lot of black spots in my past, so I'm sure something happened to me.
There's a lot of black spots in your past.
a lot of closets that are closed. A lot, I've had issues. I've had family problems, whatever it is. And we were actually talking about it last night that either, we take our problems that happened to us as a child and either help it to motivate us or we feel sorry for ourselves.
Right.
So whatever happened to me, I've used it as a tool to help me.
Gotcha. I always like to say that you kind of have two options. You either kind of do exactly the same as you've seen, or you realize I got to do exactly the opposite of what I've seen, because that didn't necessarily work.
Right.
Okay. And so how did you decide that you wanted to get into restaurant consulting? I mean, where does that come from?
When I got out of the service, I went to go work for a restaurant called Finnegan's.
Yep.
And right out of service, got hired by Finnegan's. Within 6 months, I was promoted to a manager. Within 6 months from that, they transferred me to another store to become the general manager. So right away, I had a background in restaurants.
Right.
I started taking an interest in sales, and since I had the restaurant background, I figured I might as well just pursue working for a restaurant consultant.
Right.
And when I found this Singer Equipment Company, I started calling on them. Sent in my resume, asked them for an interview. They wouldn't return my call, so I kept calling, harassing them. So finally, the CEO of the company calls me and says, "Listen, you've been such a pain in my ass.
Right.
We're going to bring you in for an interview." Sorry about that.
Wait. Hold that thought right there. First of all, we have to call the FCC and make sure that was okay to say that. But let's finish that story when we come back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin and Cliff Baker back after this.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin and Cliff Baker talking if there is a need, we will feed, among other things. So we were talking about how much of a pain in the tushy you were with this company because you wanted a job. So go ahead, carry on from there.
So after harassing him every day, he finally brought me in for an interview. I got my first interview. They were impressed. I said, "Who do I have to see for a second interview?" Harassed that person until they finally gave me the second interview. Hired me to cover the Trenton territory. Now, I live in Toms River.
Right.
So what I did was I developed a territory that didn't exist in Toms River. against the company's wishes. So I established.
You're really a model employee. Great job.
Goodness, they loved me. So Monday through Thursday, I would take orders. I would call them into the company on Friday. They would load their truck and deliver to Trenton. I would rent a van Friday morning, meet the truck in Trenton.
Right.
Unload the Trenton into my van that I just rented and made all the deliveries until the company finally said 6 months later, fine, Cliff, we'll start making deliveries. So it went from 1 day a week, built it up to 4 days a week, and that's history.
There you go. So there's a couple morals to these stories. Number one, you're borderline. You are the employee most likely to start a coup at any company. All right, but you're an out of the box thinker, and maybe it's high risk, high reward. You're like the Donald Trump of employees.
I will make Tom's River great again.
That's right. That's what we're saying. So okay, so tell me about the Baker League. So where did that come from?
The Baker League. We were members of LA Fitness.
Okay.
Over here by the movie theater, and they had a basketball court. So we would now we're early risers.
Yep.
So a friend of mine would start playing basketball in the morning, little pickup game. Saw a couple guys straggling around. We'd invite them on the court. We'd play.
Were they French?
No.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Just curious. Go ahead.
So what happened was the morning guys, it kept growing and growing and growing. Now we're playing basketball at 6 a.m. So before you know it, 6 a.m, we got 25, 26 guys there.
Right.
And it's just, a mess. People are just waiting for games.
Right.
One of my friends says, Cliff, you got to organize this. You got to make this into a league. Do something. So Pat from P&G Landscaping, one day walks downstairs with a shirt on. It says the Baker League.
Right.
Now, he's friends with a guy called Mark Babin from Sun Tees.
It's weird, by the way, because I very rarely do I ever see Pat wearing a shirt. Just let you know. Anyway, go ahead. Move right along.
So the one day Pat has a shirt on.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm with you now.
It's wearing a Baker League shirt.
Okay.
And we were like, that's it. So that was the start of the Baker League.
Got it.
So we started, we ran a tournament. We ran a league. It was 4 teams, 4 men's teams. In the spring, by summer, we got to the point we were up to 12 teams. Following year, we were up to 24 teams. The following year, we got up to 36 men's teams.
Wow.
For one league, one season. So it really blew up. Then some things happened in my life, so I had to make some changes. And from that, we restructured the Baker League to focus mostly on tournaments.
Right.
So now we focus on the youth tournaments. So we host 9 or 10 different youth tournaments a year.
Wow.
And we saw it was a great venue and an opportunity for us also now to use this as a fundraiser for us.
And you fundraise from that to help support?
If there is a need to feed, the People's Pantry, we try to help organizations in Ocean County.
Wow. Fundraising coming up for how do you raise funds for, besides the league, how do you raise funds for the food?
Mostly we put it out to through Facebook. We ask for donations. We ask for volunteers. Like I said, I've been a restaurant consultant, so I have a lot of friends in the restaurant business who are more than willing to donate once we tell them we're helping out in Ocean County. And of course, having Chef Mike. Yeah, Chef Mike's a big presence.
And you're also been very active with the Ocean County Vocational Schools. Yes. Which does a lot of work also with feeding families around, especially around Thanksgiving, right?
Yes. Matter of fact, this past Thanksgiving, they were able to help us provide a lot of turkeys and food for our event.
Wow. Awesome. So, I don't know, man. Where do you have time to make money and support the family? I mean, you're doing all this stuff.
Well, that's why I get up at 4:30 every morning.
My goodness, I get up at 4:30 because they make me come here to this radio station and talk. You should join me. But then I would cut into your basketball time. Cliff Baker, the Baker League, Singer Equipment Company, restaurant consultant, and of course, if there is a need, we will feed. When we come back, we're going to give Cliff his magic wand and see what else he can do to change the world. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, listen up to the news, and then come on back with us. Be right back.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:34, Tuesday, August 9th, 66 degrees. Get up to 84 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the radio pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Cliff Baker. We are talking If There Is a Need, We Will Feed. He's also the president of the Baker League, restaurant consultant, singer, equipment company. I can't talk any faster than that. All right, so let's talk for a second. Give me again, right, and say it slow because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, as everyone knows. So this Thursday,
yes,
we have the event, and it's taking place at which church?
The St. Barbara Church on
Okay.
Church Road.
Okay, and that's for first responders. How do I who are you servicing this Thursday?
This Thursday,
Yeah.
we're feeding those in need: military, veterans, seniors, homeless. We've had numerous Ocean County agencies reach out to us and organizations reach out to us. We have a list of about 750 people that we're feeding.
Wow.
And this food was all donated to us for this event by Stop and Shop Supermarket.
That's awesome. And now who's doing all the grilling?
Mark Cure of Cure
Right,
Catering.
that's right, okay.
And Chef Mike from Atlantic Bar and Grill.
Wow, good. So there you go. So that's this Thursday. Okay, then the next event we get to Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
Okay.
which the Variel family, who owns Aqua Blue and Cafe Italia, have
Okay.
been very friendly and generous to us, where they have
You're good.
actually given me the keys to their restaurant.
Okay.
And they allow us to go into their restaurant, Cafe Italia, on Thanksgiving and Christmas and prepare our meal.
Cool. And where do you get most of that food from?
We've been getting our food from our restaurant connections, either that I have
Gotcha.
or Chef Mike has.
Okay. And then you're saying we have the last event, which would be now next year, is Easter.
The Easter.
Gotcha.
So we're now going to do 4 events a year. We're going to do Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and a summer
So we have a
barbecue.
Christmas event coming up this year too. So we're going to have
Correct.
Thanksgiving and Christmas
Yes.
at Cafe Italia.
Correct.
Very nice. Okay. All right, Cliff. Well, listen, you're. It's hard to keep up with you, man. I mean, I see why you get up at 4 a.m. now. All right, so it's that time. Okay?
Yes.
Where we give you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact on the world without having to do all that extra work, right? Because I mean, look, you start all these things. There's a lot of work involved, right?
lot of
If
work.
you could just wave the wand, it just happens.
The little
right?
pixie dust. If
Yeah, you could use the
if we
pixie
were
dust.
Tinkerbell.
Yeah, if you were Tinky Bell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tinky Bell.
Go ahead.
I like to keep it simple.
Okay.
So I had that little pixie dust. I'd spray it and just give everyone a little hope and a little happiness.
Little hope and a little happiness, and that's what you guys really do. Because look, so I don't want to oversimplify this, but what you do on Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, summer barbecue, it's not sustainable, like life-changing type thing, right? But it does give people some hope. It does give people kind of the reset button to say, okay, let me pull myself up by my bootstraps and let me get going in the right direction here. And it's a nice thing as a community to do and to help those in need, if only for a few hours to kind of help set their lives in the right direction, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of what you specialize in.
Yes, sir.
The only hope that although I know that I played high school basketball, but I know that if I played now, there would be no hope. It would be mostly hopeless, right? Hopeless. In fact, let me tell you about my high school basketball career. Right. First of all, so my coach used to tell me to keep eating because he wanted me the round mound of rebound. Right. My job was to put my considerable tushy on the other big man and box him out. That was my job. Okay, and to play defense.
And how quickly did you use your 5 fouls?
No, I was good at that because I didn't move
You
fast
weren't
enough
fast enough
to
to
foul
foul
someone. I wanted to foul them, but I never could. I couldn't get to them usually. So, and the other thing was I've always worn glasses. Okay, now this is a telltale sign from a high school basketball coach. I've always worn glasses. My coach in basketball said you're not allowed to wear glasses or goggles, and I said why? And he goes, listen. it's really better for us. If you can't see the basket, we don't need you to shoot, right? So I'm like, but coach, I can't see the basket from like 5 feet away. He's like, perfect. So yeah, needless to say, there was not a lot of scoring from this end. All right, Cliff, enough about me. Tell me where I could find that information. Let's go around the horn. Let's start with the completely selfish one first. How do I learn more about Singer Equipment Company?
SingerEquipment.com.
Okay,
Very simple.
And you guys do restaurant consulting, and you do
restaurant supplies.
Supplies.
Everything but the food.
Everything but the food.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So we got that out of the way. Now your boss could feel good that you've done the right thing for the company, showing everyone what a swell guy you are, and we can give Singer Equipment Company credit for having hired you and for having such a great team player on the team, right? So
if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. Great job. We did our due diligence there. You can now send them the link to the YouTube. Now, moving right along, we're going to work our way up. Talk Baker League. If I want to learn more about these tournaments and about basketball and about what you're doing there, how do I learn that?
You go to thebakerleague.com, and we have our schedule listed of our upcoming events, upcoming tournaments.
Cool. So we got 2 down now,
Yes.
and now let's get to the big one, right? The coup de grace, the piece de resistance. See, I used French there because there was an underlying French theme to this whole interview today.
Exactly.
So now, what if I want to know more about if there is a need, we will feed.
If there is a need, we will feed.weebly.com.
Weebly, WEEBLY.
Correct.
.com.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. So, and then I could learn more about what you guys are doing there.
Right. If they want to help, if they want to volunteer, if they want to donate.
Okay. Cool. And anybody, of course, if they want to tag you and say they were with you at any location across the free world.
There's one person to ask.
Yeah. Okay. Cliff Baker. Cliff, in all seriousness, all kidding aside, you're doing a ton of things for the community, and it's great to see people giving back in such a big way. And I know that if I needed to start a 501c3 or some kind of organization, I'd be calling you and say, listen, you must have some free time. Why don't you wake up at 2:30 instead? Because I don't know what you're doing in the middle of the night there when you think you should be sleeping. You need to get working on some new projects.
That's it.
Well, but thank you for all you do for the community. You really are an asset, and we really do appreciate it, especially what you do for the first responders and those in need from a food insecurity standpoint.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We'll be back right after this.